welcome to Metal and Metal Nation Radio. With us today, we have legendary, one of my favorite frontmen of all times, Phil Anselmo. How are you doing, sir?
How you doing, buddy?
I am doing damn good. How about you?
I am recovering from the Danzig Superjoint tour, but actually,
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling very good, and thank you for asking.
Oh, wonderful. Now, in fact, since you're talking about dancing, how's the tour going on? I mean, how's been the response from the fans with this amazing lineup?
We're finished, man. We finished on Halloween night,
Mm-hmm.
the 31st, and it was a great tour. It was fucking excellent audience reaction, great camaraderie with the bands
Mm-hmm.
and our touring partners, and I can't say enough great things about Glenn Danzig and his entire band, his crew, his touring compatriots and whatnot. Just fucking everybody was dynamite, and it was a lot of fun.
That's amazing. I mean, I've seen bands, creating side projects, and after a while, they kind of crush them to ashes. But Phil Anselmo is one guy who's up there every night singing your heart out. Now you're consistently being on road for all the projects you've been part of, and each one has its own identity. So for you, how important is it to maintain that?
It's very important because if you're going to create a different band, it must sound like its own thing. So, uh, for me, Superjoint Ritual comes pardon me, Superjoint for legal reasons. Uh, it it's very, I hate to use this word easy, but I would say it comes natural. It's
Hmm.
very, very natural style for me. So, uh, therefore, really with it, the natural feel,
Right.
it makes the shows that much more fun, that much more, uh, I guess, wide open and entertaining, so to speak. So no gimmicks, no bullshit, no high maintenance image or anything like
Hmm.
that. We get out there and we let the songs do the talking, and aside from my big fucking mouth, it's a lot of fun.
That's absolutely true. And it must be refreshing for you when you're, let's say, done. Now, let's say you're done touring with Superjoint, and let's say you have an upcoming tour with Down or Illegals. So, in that case, like, how does it make you feel that, you have to cope up with this kind of a stress?
Oh, how does it make me feel? Well, maybe reword the question. I'm not understanding the
Yeah,
question.
what I was saying is, it must be refreshing for you, in terms of when you're done touring with one band and then you go on with the other band. So it's not like you have a long run of tours of, let's say, a month or two. It keeps changing, like the down tours and then sometimes super joint tours and sometimes illegal. So, how are you able to cope up with the stress of, continuously being on road?
Well, you know, I do things very, very. I like to think strategically because I told myself early or at the end of 2014
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to take the first half of 2015 and take time off from the road and
Mm-hmm.
just write. So that's exactly what I did. I wrote, and a lot of the stuff is ended up being perhaps for new super joint. A
Cool.
lot of the stuff is perhaps for new illegals, and
Mm-hmm.
then there were several things that popped up that are just completely different, which
Different.
is
Mm-hmm.
always great, very great for me. But as far as touring within bands and between bands, you know, as long as, and we just spoke of this, as long as the vision
Mm-hmm.
for each band is completely clear,
Right.
and the sound of each band is etched in stone, and people realize this is what Down is supposed to sound like,
Right.
or this is what
Superjoint.
Superjoint is supposed to sound like,
Mm-hmm.
then it's easier for me to be prepared and realize that I have to concentrate on the task at hand, because it is very different to sing with Superjoint than it is for Down.
Down.
It's
Mm-hmm.
completely different. So as long as I'm aware, then the stress level is a lot lower. So
Cool.
you take things in stride,
Yeah.
and you prepare yourself as best you can.
Absolutely right. Now, each project demands diversity in terms of vocals, and there are lots of bands doing screaming rather than actually singing. So, you are known for that in terms of how you have all these different projects. So, how have you managed to find a right balance between each of your projects in such a way that your vocals don't sound similar to each one of them?
Because I can do it all pretty much. I mean, aside from certain genres, of course, where that demand falsetto, high vocals, or something that I'm not able to do
Do.
or
Mm-hmm.
not willing to do. I can sing when I want to sing. I
Mm-hmm.
can scream when I want to scream. I can do these things. So it's like it's a blessing. So
Right.
it's something that I do. Um, just out of the love of the project,
Mm-hmm.
just screaming over Down wouldn't make any sense really at all, especially when you're coming from the roots of say Black Sabbath,
Sabbath. Mm-hmm.
where that's when I think Down, that's what I think about is Black Sabbath, and with Superjoint, I think more, I guess, like middle '80s hardcore
Right.
or something like that,
That's cool. And you were talking about the Superjoint album, which you worked like the first half of 2015. So the new album we know is coming soon. Now that the previous Superjoint album, which has been a long time, are considered as classics, and it builds up a sort of pressure to exceed the expectations of your fans. So how are you guys going, or let's say planning to accomplish that?
Well, all you can do is be as true to the project as the former records are. You have
Mm-hmm.
to get back in the room with the guys my main guys. That always, as far as writing goes,
Mm-hmm.
for Superjoint would be me and Jimmy Bauer,
Right.
and of course Kevin Bond. And now we've got all the members in place that we want.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that it did take us a little while and a few practices to really get back into that feel again,
Right.
and understand the true feeling of Superjoint.
The,
And the best thing about that is I think that right now the stuff that we have written
mm-hmm.
is very close. It's very, very close musically.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got some stuff that are very true to the Superjoint sound and the Superjoint feel,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm very happy with that. And I'm in the band, so if I'm happy and the rest of the guys are
Right.
happy and everybody's feeling it, then it must be true.
Yeah, that's really cool. And over the period of time, I mean, the taste in the metal changed. We plan to explore and listen to new music, explore different genres. So I'm sure over the period of last one decade, you or even Jimmy, listen to a lot of different kind of music. So that might sort of make its way to some extent on the new Superjoint one.
No, I don't think so, really, because I think when we originally did Superjoint, of course, we were exposed to the bands we were exposed to, but uh, as far as fresh ideas, which I always keep an open mind
Mind.
for, as far as newer bands come, and especially in the extreme underground.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think they really have anything to do with the Superjoint sound because we came from a different era, and
Right.
that's something that we all understand, and it's true. We all do listen to a lot of different stuff these days,
Right.
as opposed to what we were listening to in the '90s. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, anything like that, as far as modern influences or anything like that, I would say that would be more for the illegals
Mm-hmm.
or
Right.
something like that,
Right.
as opposed to Superjoint. So Superjoint's something that we have to be very focused on and very true to the original sound that we came from, which ranged from anywhere between, oh gosh, early heavy metal to like Black Flag or Agnostic Front, something like that.
So basically, the essence of Superjoint tone.
Oh, absolutely, yes. You have to capture the essence of it from its original source, really.
Right. Right.